Hey everybody, it's Michael. Hope you're having a really good week. It's our first middle of the semester video. This is something I like to do from time to time because, when you're on an online class, you don't really get to see the professor too often, except it's like a little picture up in the corner that just, and it's like your professor always looks the same. It's always like, you need to see more than that. I mean, so I like to make videos, I think, and it's just a neat way to be able to at least one way connect with you as a class, and not just be a still frame photo that you see up in the corner. So anyhow. Things are good here. I'm in my office in State College right now at the university, and it's a beautiful sunny day, and it's allergy season, so if I start to sneeze uncontrollably, please excuse me. But anyway, I think we're off to a really good start in the class. I just wanted to let you know I'll start posting grades very soon. I usually like to wait until after after we have this first team census assignment in, and sometimes even after the population projection after that, before inputting grades. Otherwise, the grades are really tiny at first, and it can really make it look like your grade is something other than what it really is. So I like to wait a couple of weeks. So if you're looking for your grades, trust me, they're coming soon. I just like to wait until there's enough that we can actually put some meat and potatoes in your grade section. But anyway, I think we're off to a great start. Glad to see people are posting online. Glad to see the discussions are emerging, and that's great news. Did want to talk to you about a couple of things. First of all, we've got a team census assignment this week. Now, what you should be looking for here, I wanted to give you a little bit of context behind this assignment. What we're trying to do is get some practice in actually developing a sense of how to work with basic data and how to calculate change. Okay? Now, everybody's been sort of subdivided into a different state. The states are fixed. What I didn't tell you is that at the local level, you're supposed to pick a county. I don't really care what county it is. Honestly, you can pick any county in that state that you like. If there's one that's particularly interesting to you, I say go for it. It's no big deal. That doesn't really matter to me. What matters to me is that there's consistency across the assignment. So here's the thing. Instead of just working with your team and saying, well, I'll do this chunk, you do this chunk, make sure that things are presented in a relatively consistent way. So if one page is you're presenting, just raw change figures, like, well, the population grew by 10,000. And the next page is calculating percentage figures and saying, well, the population grew by 6%. All right, well, that's okay, but let's say you're trying to turn this into a client. And all the work that we do in here, we want it to be essentially client ready. So if you're, like you're turning it into a real client who's actually going to work with this data, because that's what you're going to be doing someday. So, what I would like you to do is to kind of work together to smooth out the assignment, make it look really nice, and by really nice, I mean really consistent. It's just, kind of in our wiki pages, so it's going to look like a wiki page. But make it really consistent across the data. And the data that you should be using are the, really, we're trying to stick to the 2000 census and what's called the 2010 to 2006 to 2010 5-year American Community Survey estimates. The difference between these, when you see the census, you might see this sort of modifier that says it's 100% data. And what that means is that 100% of American households, as you know in a census, are being surveyed. The way that the American Community Survey is calculated is a little bit different. Every year the census kind of takes a random sample of a few households across the country. And they just take basic characteristics and, a lot of the stuff that's in the actual census. But for year-to-year change, they can't do a census every year. It's too hard and too expensive. So they just do a little small sample of houses around the country and see what they can find. Well, what happens is that when you pool more years of the American Community Survey in together, you have more data points. So it becomes more reliable. Like basically what they're doing is they're making estimates of the population based on some of the changes that they're seeing. That's why they call them estimates. It's not the full population. But they're trying to understand a little bit more about some of the interim changes that are going on. And the more years that you have, say 5 in this case, if we're using all the American Community Surveys that were conducted in 2006, 7, 8, 9, and 10, and we pull them together, we get a much stronger estimate of what was happening during that time frame, during that 5-year period. So it's essentially a really strong guess of what's going on in the country. Now, we're not using the 2010 census, even though that's a nice 10-year difference, because a lot of it is still, believe it or not, 3 years out. We're still tabulating the data. The census is still not releasing 100% of what they have. They're already on to the 2011 ACS. They still haven't even finished putting out all the data from the census. It takes years because there's so much to analyze and compile. So anyway, what we're doing is we're using the 2000 data and the 2006 to 2010 data. And I wanted you to know if you're having any trouble finding these data sets, okay? I'm not sure, some people I've noticed, I've gotten a few messages that folks are trying to find data in some different ways. And that's okay. What you can do is you can go under the American Fact Finder. If you go into the census page and you go under American Fact Finder, you too can find I would actually go right into the advanced search, believe it or not. It's really not that advanced. It's actually pretty easy and pretty intuitive. And what you can do is you can select the geography that you're looking for, say the United States or California or the county within California that you're trying to analyze, let's say. And then what you can do is take a look at the, either race or educational attainment or income, whatever you're trying to look at over that period of time, and you can look at that in topics. And a lot of times you can then search by keyword. So in the little keyword box, you can put in 2000, or you can put in 2010 ACS 5-year. Give it a shot. You should be able to find some of the data that's out there in multiple different forms. If you're really having trouble, I want you to do some of these explorations on your own. I don't want to just give you all the answers here. I'd like you to try to find them as best as you can. If you're really still having trouble later in the week, let me know. I'll give you some other little hints. It's like an Easter egg hunt. But that's the point. That's part of the assignment, is getting to become familiar with finding data in the census, which is a source that's currently unfamiliar to you, and being able to explore and intuitively build a sense of what's really in there. So that's what I'd like you to really do, and actually that's the main point of the assignment. Anybody can calculate percentages, that's pretty easy, but it's actually finding the right data and getting it in there. And also working with your teammates to make a nice consistent product, that too. So anyhow, that's all I have for you today. I did want to talk to you about one other thing too. Communication. A lot of you will send me emails via the course website, and that's fantastic. I get them every single time. Here's the deal. When I send you a response, oftentimes I'm out traveling, I'm on the road, or I'm at meetings, or I'm doing other things. I want to get back to you as quickly as possible. I've got my iPhone, and unfortunately I can't really, it's really clunky to access the course webware via iPhone. It's really challenging. So what I try to do is just, sometimes I'll just respond to your messages via email, and it will go straight back to your Penn State email account. I want to be sure that everybody's checking their Penn State email account, and if you're not, be sure that you do, because this is also where you get messages from the Cedev program as well. Now, if you do have any problems accessing your Penn State email, or you'd rather just receive responses from me in the course webmail, just send me a message and let me know that. And I'll just remember, when I'm responding to you, I'm going to do it, I'm just going to wait to do it next time I get to the course webmail, as opposed to just doing it on the fly from my phone. It might mean a little bit more response time, but I'll do my very best to try to satisfy you anyway and make sure that you're getting all your messages from me so that we don't have any loose ends. So be sure you're checking that webmail, and if there's any problems with it, just let me know. I hope you're all having a great week. If you're having any problems with the team census assignment, let me know that right away, and I'm looking forward to talking more about population change. It's good stuff. Hope you're having a good time, and I'll talk to you soon. See ya.